What's up, everyone? I'm Wil Fulton. This is Thrillist Podcast, the best and the rest. This is our 15th episode. Isn't that insane?
Yay. Time flies.
Congrats. You guys have all been on before. If episodes were years, our podcast would almost be able to drive in some states.
Yeah,
That's
You can get your driver's permit.
I really make me think. The other obvious thing is we are filming this podcast now, so if you want to look, not at my face, but these two beautiful people here, you can find the podcast on YouTube and check out a quick clip. So today's episode is all about winter. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we're in New York, and it's cold as fuck outside.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's so fucking cold.
It's
Pray
awful.
for me. Pray for me. I just came back from California. It was 72 degrees there.
And you're from California, right?
Yeah.
So it's like...
It's horrible.
How is it?
I'm a born and bred New Englander, and this has been a tough one for me.
Okay, I feel validated from hearing that.
Yeah.
I mean, I
It
know
started early.
I'm soft, but I feel validation.
It's soft but validated.
Yes,
That's
yes.
all you want.
Yep.
How are you adjusting to winter in New York?
Okay, I guess everyone told me this when I was moving. They're like, get a good coat, and it does make the world a difference. Like, yeah, you can go outside if you're in a good coat, which I have one good coat.
Yeah.
But
They don't tell you that costs like $700 too, though. A lot of the good coats.
My good coat, $50, guys. 50. 50.
I need to run your
You're
secrets.
whispering in like they're not going to, yeah.
Yeah.
They're not going to steal your fashion tips.
Yeah, it is a good coat. But the thing that gets me annoyed is it's sunny, but it's still frigid. I'm
Yep.
like, what? Like, I almost would prefer it to be snowing because I think snow's so beautiful. And
Yeah.
I didn't grow up with it, so I think it's so magical looking. But when it's cold and sunny, it's so deceptive. I look out the
It
window.
must blow your Californian mind.
It
'cause
does.
it's-
It truly does. I'm like, there is no warmth from this golden ball in the sky.
Yeah. Do you
This is
think,
a lie.
some people, my grandma always said that being in the cold weather for a season is good for you. Do you think that could possibly be true?
I think it's good for my mental health in a weird way. Not that the lack of sunlight drives me a little insane, but knowing that this time of year is fleeting and is coming and going makes me realize that the year is actually going by. Because I know a lot of my friends who are out and who've moved to LA, they're like, the hardest adjustment is actually not having that one bit of cold weather. You don't want too much of it, but you need a little bit.
Yeah.
So maybe your grandma's right in that sense.
I think she's right about a lot of things. I like the seasons. It helps me work with the flow of time, if that makes sense. Well, this episode is all about winter. Kat Thompson here, staff writer for Thrillist.
Hello.
She's going to go over some ways we can spruce up our ramen, some easy ways.
Easy ways.
And
instant ramen.
and Zach Mack, beer writer.
Beer writer.
Certified, am I saying this right? Chicharrone?
You get every time you get even
No.
so much closer.
I'm just
Cicerone,
kidding.
you got it. You're
I
crushing
say it
it.
wrong
Cicerone.
every time.
I know. It's our bit now. I like it.
It's hard.
It is.
And owner of ABC Beer Co. in the East Village. Go check it out. Go and ask for Zach specifically. Ask him his advice.
I'm
on
always
beer.
there. I'd love to talk to people.
That would be
and
great.
I love ramen, so this is the perfect day for me to be here.
Beer and ramen, best
Yeah.
combination.
Yeah,
So-
honestly.
So Kat's going to go over some easy ramen. What would you call it? Sprucing it up?
Yeah,
Making it better?
ramen hacks. I put hacks in quotes because one of the hacks is spoiler alert, putting eggs in it. Everyone knows that hack, but
Still a hack.
ways to make your ramen not so sad when it comes from a plastic packaging and you're microwaving it.
Definitely. And Zach's going to go over some good winter beers and great beers to pair with ramen.
Yeah, honestly, it's one of the things that I've grown to appreciate living in New York City with good ramen restaurants all around. How many places have exposed me to what a good pairing ramen and beer is. So
Most definitely. Now, Kat, you wrote about how to spruce up your ramen. I did a similar article, but I asked chefs, and they were like, "Well, just go to your local butcher and get a fresh cut of prosciutto and shave it over." And I'm like, I eat bacon, egg, and cheese 3 times a week for dinner. I don't do that kind of
dinner.
stuff. Yeah, for dinner, not for breakfast. Actually, for dinner. So to prove that this is really easy, I just grab things from my own cabinet, which is not bountiful, I have to say, and the local bodega. And I came up with a bunch of stuff. Can you go over some of what? So I guess first off, what is your favorite easy ramen tip?
The easiest ramen tip, and the one I probably do every single time, is the egg one, because all you gotta do is toss in an egg. And I honestly, sometimes I hard boil it, but sometimes if I'm doing ramen on the stove, I'll just crack the egg straight into the ramen. And I like it medium boiled, so there's still yolk.
Yeah.
That's the easiest one to do, but another one I love, I really like spice, so I always have a jar of kimchi at my house. I just toss some kimchi in.
That sounds easy. We do have eggs here. I said I got a lot of this from my house and from a bodega. I got these eggs from a hot dog vendor out on Broadway.
Yeah, they smell sulfuric.
They smell like the gates of hell. And we have all this red velvet around us. It's like we're in a prison.
Wrapping it all in. It's all here.
Yeah.
Sensory overloads.
I kind of want to start digging into this. Will you make us some ramen?
Yeah, I will make us some ramen. So we have some top ramen. I'm going to do the Shin.
Sure. So this is the brand you like. What is it called?
Shin Ramen is one of my favorite brands of ramen.
Mine
it's
too.
Korean. It's like spicy and like really warming. It's just really good. And it's also this is a super easy ramen hack that I'm inspired by. There's a writer named Noah Cho, and he writes for Catapult, and he talks about how everyone should put cheese on their ramen, and I wholeheartedly agree, especially American cheese.
Okay, that one, I really want to talk about that because it's kind of.
Let's talk about it.
It's surprising. I don't eat a lot of American cheese except for my bacon, egg, and cheese sometimes.
For dinner.
For dinner. How can American cheese and ramen work? It seems like, like Zach, I go out to ramen restaurants and cheese is never really an option. It never seemed like it worked to me.
Okay, let me give you the lowdown right here.
Okay.
American cheese, super melty, super good.
Okay.
Ramen, these are just noodles.
Yeah.
We love noodles and cheese. What are we talking about? Mac and cheese is so freaking good. Parmesan on pasta. So why not put creamy, melty cheese on a spicy bowl of ramen? And then once you mix all the noodles together and there's cheese strings. Oh, I'm telling you.
It's one of my favorite things because when you're just doing the flavor packet, I feel like the texture of the broth is not what you want it to be. It feels really, really thin, which, that's not always the point. But once you drop the cheese in, it gets so much more hearty and it feels so good.
Zach, you've done this before.
Oh, I do this. This is the only way I make it at home now.
Really?
I'm validated part 2.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you eat a lot of instant ramen?
In moments of desperation, there's sometimes I'm I actually call this brand Shin Ramen. I call it Sick Ramen because it's spicy enough and it clears the sinuses.
Totally.
Ooh, yeah.
And it's super good. So if I have this around, I always have 3 or 4 packets in my fridge, in my drawer, just because I want to make sure if I need something in a pinch, I can do it. And this is fast enough. I don't eat instant ramen a ton.
Yeah.
Again, lucky enough to be close to some of my favorite ramen in the city.
Yeah.
But this always works in a pinch. And honestly, waking up and doing some of these hacks, like breakfast ramen, actually fantastic.
Easy to do.
Interesting.
Especially with the egg element, you do a little
throw some hot dog sausage.
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah.
Spam.
Hell yeah.
I would totally spam.
Yeah.
Great. If pan fried spam.
Hawaiian style.
Yeah, I'm super for it.
No, you were dressing those. That looks very nice. You did a good job. You poured the flavor packets on.
Yeah, I got it. I need water. Can you
water?
Hand me a
got
water
some.
bottle? Yeah.
There you go.
I'm so excited to see how this goes.
Yeah.
I hope that this is evenly distributed enough that it will still be.
I was actually noticing as we were
saucy.
talking, it looked like you did a really good distribution of sauce.
That's what I'm saying. She did a good job dressing.
Yeah.
That's my limitations of cooking. I can arrange things. I just can't cook them. Did you guys eat a lot of ramen in college? Instant ramen?
Oh.
Weirdly?
1,000%. No.
No. Weirdly, I ate a ton in high school, and then by the time I got to college, I ate a little less of it, I guess.
You were mature for your age. You do. Yeah.
I really cut my teeth in high school, and by then I was sick of it.
I didn't really eat a lot, and I didn't cook it a lot, but I would just kind of eat it raw, hard, as a snack.
Okay, I've definitely done that a lot. I remember the first time. Okay, so I'm half Thai and half English, and so Thai food, lots of spicy, lots of all that stuff.
Yeah.
The very first time I went to England was when I was in 5th grade to go see family, and we were there for a month, and my mom and I were like, this food fucking sucks. And we were straight up eating dry packets of ramen with the seasoning mixed in the bags. Yeah, that was our savior.
So it's gotten you through some tough food trips.
It's gotten me through some tough times. Yeah.
So what do you? So these are frozen dumplings that I got from the bodega.
Yep.
They seem like they're good. I've never tried them, but.
Yeah. So another ramen hack I do is especially if I'm boiling it on the stove, just throwing in a couple of dumplings. They're already frozen, and so they're gonna cook with the ramen too, and I feel like it makes it more rich, and you'll actually be full from your ramen and and less sad maybe.
I would hope less sad. Just also everything I got here, it's amazing. I think everything was $20 overall.
Yeah.
It's very cheap.
And if you as long as you, I don't know, I eat ramen a lot, especially in the winter when it's too cold to go outside, which I've been feeling that is the case a lot recently. But yeah, it's if you have right now I'm putting frozen spinach also in the ramen. I'm trying to make it slightly more nutritious because we're already eating ramen, which has a lot of carbs, has a lot of sodium. So
instant ramen.
If we could, instant ramen. So if we could, spruce it up a little bit, make it a little bit more nutritious.
It actually looks great.
Oh yeah.
This
The other
is
one,
surprising.
do you ever do too? Because I always have sesame seeds in the cabinet as well. I'll toast up sesame seeds fast to dump on top.
That sounds
which I
really
like.
good.
Or a little spicy sesame oil.
I've never done sesame oil. Yes.
Yeah.
I've never done the
A
seeds
little
on top,
garnish
but-
too. It looks good. If you're gonna gram it.
Nice.
Okay, I'm
Got
gonna
some protein in there.
Yeah, I'm
Do you have
gonna.
anything else that you want to put in there?
I'll do the cheese at the end when it's
Okay.
hot. Yeah.
Wow, is that the method?
Yes, because
Okay.
if you nuke the cheese, then it will literally disappear.
Yeah.
So you yeah.
Where does it go?
It's in the
becomes
ramen,
the
but
broth.
it becomes
part of the
yeah,
ramen?
you
Yeah.
basically make it like a cheese sauce.
That doesn't sound totally bad.
It doesn't.
I'm gonna let you do it. I'm gonna
Yeah.
you're the expert here.
So I'm just gonna I'm
Putting it in the microwave.
Should we one at a time?
Do you think this is the first podcast that just had a microwave this close to a microphone?
I am wondering that.
Should
Are we gonna arc?
Is there a way to look that up? Can we
Yeah.
get someone on that?
Yeah, unclear, but
And do we know how long you have to cook it for?
because I broke them up, I feel
Yeah.
like it shouldn't be as long as normal. Because here it says
10 minutes.
yeah, 4 minutes al dente.
4.
So we have
Oh,
frozen.
7 minutes it says for the microwave. I put in a minute and 30 seconds.
It's okay. Time is a factor.
Yeah,
We
we'll
can
just
this
that was
is-
check on
extra
it.
talk.
We'll
Yeah.
check on it in a
Check
little
on
bit.
it.
Eat some American cheese slices. as we
Yeah.
talk.
I have no problems with that. Also, they're smaller bowls. Maybe they'll cook faster. I don't know.
I don't know. It's like this is all about experimentation, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
We're learning how to make our ramen a little bit better, very cheaply. It looks beautiful, so it passed the eye test at least.
Yeah.
Wow.
Honestly, it already does look good.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zach, do you want to open up some of your winter beers?
You know what?
while
While
we
we're
wait?
here, we
Yeah,
might as
while we're
well.
we
waiting.
might as well.
Let's get into the beers.
Most
Um,
definitely.
So, do you want to just unceremoniously, before we even start talking about the topic at hand, I suppose, the first thing I wanted to pull out, because I feel like it's the right place to start, is a fantastic beer from a brewery right here in the city called Three's Brewing.
Yeah.
It's their 5th anniversary beer called Vainglorious.
It's extremely shiny.
I know.
Yeah,
I don't know
it's
if you can catch this on
beautiful.
camera, but
It's-
it's holographic.
If you're listening, it's like a zebra print. It's extremely holographic. It
Yeah.
looks like a magic eye mixed with an acid
like
trip
very
a little
90s.
bit.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. But this is their 5th anniversary beer, which is nothing. Usually when people do anniversary or celebratory beers like that, they make it this crazy high alcohol, like crazy IPA.
Because
Or
it's a party, right?
Yeah, it's exactly.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
you don't want to remember the party maybe. But this one is just their most popular like workhorse beer called Velit, which is a super solid pilsner.
Yeah.
That's been dry hopped. So it's pretty much something that anyone can get behind because it doesn't taste any more bitter than it normally would. It's straightforward, easy drinking pilsner. I want to drink it when you're watching playoff football.
Definitely.
I tie into winter here.
Sure.
Or
Walking in the street,
walking.
crying when you get home from work. Anything you do in the
When
winter.
you get home from work, eating your bacon, egg, and cheese dinner, it's like a perfect. So honestly,
Or
I
your
think
pimped out ramen
Yeah.
in this case.
Yes.
Zach, so you wrote for Thrillist about the best winter beers, and you update that story. It seems like almost annually.
yeah, a
what-
couple years running now.
What makes a good winter beer? Are there like specific qualities you look for, or are they beers that are just released in the winter? I don't understand that, honestly.
If you're asking
you.
a beer marketer, yeah, there's
Yeah.
like a schedule of things that the beer industry follows to kind of match what they assume people's moods are. So from the
Yeah.
larger brewers especially, you see a lot of like winter warmers, which are basically like spiced porters. You see a lot of heavier stouts. But recently, because that area got so crowded and not a ton of Americans are down with darker beer, you've seen companies be like, hey, let's do like a winter wheat beer. Or like, let's do like, fuck it, let's do a Pilsner. So
Is it all just marketing? Like,
honestly, a lot of it is like it's a little ballsy to put the word Christmas or holidays on a beer because as soon as you're past that, no one will touch it.
Yeah.
So a lot
it's
of
not
people
on
have-
sale for like half price for next
yeah,
year.
even the word winter gives people some pause. So a lot of the time now it's more of just like an illusion or like the stuff that's from maybe like 5-10 years ago that has maintained popularity has kind of become something that people know to ask for by name, and the rest is kind of free reign.
Ramen's
oh,
done.
here
Sorry,
we go.
sorry.
It's steaming.
It's
and don't bring
steaming.
it in. Don't bring
Oh,
it
you
in.
need an oven mitt?
Oh shit! My sister for Christmas
Yeah.
got me like this weird cloth like bowl thing, and I was like, "What the hell is this for?" It's for like when you microwave something, you can like hold the bowl.
That's
She brought
amazing.
it. She knew.
knew.
She knew I was doing this.
That's
Fuck. Hold on.
this is gonna be a
You're
hard-
gonna use your sweatshirt here. I take off my flannel.
No, it's fine. I can do this. I'm gonna pivot away.
Okay.
The thing is that this ramen door doesn't open very wide. Hold on.
Yeah, you're like in the worst angle for it.
Okay.
Yes.
I also have.
You know, I don't think this velvet box was designed for hands-on cooking.
Yeah, it's
Are
hot,
you
right?
okay?
Joe, don't
Yeah,
bring your
yeah.
hands.
I got it.
A lot of firsts in podcasting. today.
The first injury on a podcast set for Thrillist. Hey.
Yeah, there's probably been some.
Second-degree burn.
I feel like people get hurt in like This American Life, but not on shows like this.
Yeah. All right, first one is out. It smells good.
Is it supposed to really smell like eggs that you got from a hot dog vendor? Or is that just the eggs from the hot dog vendor?
I think it's because I smell this now. Let's see. The noodles,
You're closer.
The noodles look pretty al dente. Ooh, the dumpling looks quite soft, but
Ooh.
I'm going to pass this your way to someone.
Okay.
Someone's way.
All right.
Okay.
We all wear long
I'm foreseeing
sleeves.
danger. I know.
So we can
I
sheath
feel like
our
an
hands.
idiot.
You did it. Nice.
Here, and also,
Okay, this looks great.
Here's some plastic forks for you. Because
Perfect.
I couldn't find any
Also from the
chopsticks.
bodega.
Yeah.
This is amazing bodega ramen.
Oh,
I got a sleeve in there. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Tell me what you think.
I will.
Hopefully.
You essentially could assemble this meal with bodega ingredients, though, or Trader
Yeah.
Joe's.
Well, it's literally what we did. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
I mean, with the 4 Trader Joe's that have opened up within spitting distance of this building, I mean, I feel like that's something to consider. But
I have spit on a lot of Trader Joe's.
Yeah. Wait, please blow on it because it
yeah.
looks really hot.
Do we learn nothing from the ramen accidents of our youth? That's what I always did. I was too hungry and I never waited.
Yeah, I definitely was eating ramen once when I was in middle school in the car, and my mom braked super hard, and I spilled it all over my stomach, and I got a burn.
That's the boldest move ever. I've never eaten ramen in a car.
Yeah, that seems like a
Ever.
very bad thing to eat in a car.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, I'm gonna while I wait for this to cool, I'm gonna try this Vainglorious.
Yeah.
Dry hop Pilsner. Now what do you call Pilsner lovers?
Crispy Boys.
Crispy Boys.
I mean, you can call the beer itself a Crispy Boy. That's the other thing too.
I am a Crispy Boy drinking Crispy Boy. It's like Inception, but
Hazy
with
Boys or Haze Bros.
Haze
Hazy
Bros.
Boys. BOI, important distinction.
So why do you think this is good winter beer?
I think this is good winter beer because I was alluding to it before, but you can only drink so many back-to-back stereotypical winter beers before your palate just gets blown out. I don't want to drink 15% stout, with everything at the end of the day. It will really shorten your night. But there's also things that it's kind of ridiculous to think that just because it's cold out, your body only wants one thing. Like, I don't know about you guys. I eat ice cream when it's cold out.
Yeah.
And I eat ramen in July.
I drink iced coffee all year long, honestly.
Actually, I kind of prefer that too.
Yeah.
But this is one of those things where it's like, if you want to tell me that there's only one type of beer to drink when it's below, 40 degrees out, it's a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people who drink, they drink very, very strong stouts in California weather. And there's nothing that's going to stop them. Like, just because they don't get seasons doesn't mean they're going to stop shipping beer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Some of the best winter beers I know come from Southern California.
Man, isn't it ironic?
Yeah, Celebration from Sierra Nevada, a perennial hit. From anyone who loves beer will say that they love that beer. It's something people still look forward to. So, do you want to? Have you done your American cheese slice yet?
Oh,
I am not.
cannot forget the American
especially
cheese.
while it's still hot.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is great. You guys are really taking care of me here.
Oh yeah, this is.
I feel like your parents. Could we just all move in together?
Yeah.
All right.
The noodles don't look quite done yet. I'm gonna give it another
So
taste.
now
I appreciate that.
we are putting the slice of American cheese on top of our maxed out instant ramen. This is a bodega classic.
Yeah, just let it
Let
it's
it simmer a little bit?
It's a cozy little blanket for your ramen.
It
Just let
is.
it hang
It's
out.
all tucked in there.
I was saying,
Yeah.
you may be surprised to know the melting point for American cheese is quite low.
It is
So-
very low.
It's like taking a nap. Should we tell it a little bedtime story?
Yes.
About
Tuck
the
it
best
in.
beers to drink during the winter?
Yeah. What's the next beer?
Oh, do you want to move up to the next one?
Yeah.
I think we should move over to one that is barely even related to winter and all, because it wasn't released in wintertime.
Right.
It doesn't say winter on the can, but I just think it's one of these things that you need to drink if you're maybe lucky enough to live in some place where it doesn't get that cold,
Sure.
or you just want to remember what it's like to drink something that it's like a blast of summer citrus. This is a brewery that I love called Orono. They're from Maine, which is where the illustrious State University of Vermont has their main campus. But these guys opened
Why
up
did you mention that?
It's the only way that I can, as a New Englander, that puts it on the map. And I remember, as a kid, knowing that.
I thought you were plugging them. Are they paying you?
Well, it's not coastal Maine, so
Okay.
it's like one of those places. It's like, oh, where is that?
Got it.
It's not Portland.
So
or
for
anything like that.
reference.
So for reference's
Gotcha.
sake. But the brewery, as a eponymous brewery name, it helps to reference a town.
Yeah.
This is I will call it their flagship IPA called Tubular.
Tubular.
You can notice with the kind of Saved by the Bell kind of 90s
exactly
graphics.
what I was thinking.
It's
So
very
cute.
What's the name of the cafe that they go to in Saved by the Bell?
Peach Pit's 90210. That's Max's.
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 It definitely looks like it's the wallpaper from Max's. It's very 90s. It's very honestly, it's very tubular. I can't think of a better name.
totally tubular, as they used to say.
Awesome.
So this one is just their flagship beer. It's about a 7% IPA. Super straightforward, easy drinking, bright citrus, and one of those things that can kind of get you over the hump, help you over the seasonal affective disorder if you're feeling a bit of that crush. So
most definitely. And, you know, for anyone listening in, if you forgot, that droning in the background, it's not a helicopter. It's not an audio problem. This is a microwave at our podcast studio. We're the first as far as I know.
I'm passing the ramen. There you go.
Ooh, that's hot.
Nice. It is hot.
Ooh, it looks good.
Okay, this cheese is really melting. It's looking good. It's getting really gooey.
I just realized we don't have spoons.
I love that.
Oh,
Oh, no, we do.
1 spoon.
Ooh,
We're sharing spoons.
Beers, sharing spoons.
You know, or just, you know, lift it to your mouth and slurp it. It's fine.
I know, actually, I
That's how I would like
dig
to do
that
it.
anyway.
Yeah.
Oh.
Zach brought really nice beer, and I just went to a bodega and bought a bunch of crap.
And I forgot, but if you want your sulfuric egg, it's right here.
You know, I have to say,
Broadway's finest.
when I ordered this egg, it's on Broadway. When I got this egg, people behind me were like, "You sell eggs here?" And he was like, "Yeah, we always have." And they were like, "Oh, damn, 2 for $1."
You know, it must say, like, Will, I've seen Will in so many contexts when he's, like, doing things, and he's a generally very happy guy.
Yeah.
He walked back into the office with he's like, eggs, 2 for $1. New York is the best. I was like,
It is pretty amazing.
I know, it's crazy. You can just walk out the door of your office, walk 3 feet, and get as many hard-boiled eggs as you want.
Yeah.
And
Go
ginger
try some
ale.
IPA.
Yes, this sounds really good.
Yeah,
The
I think
citrus.
it's really
is
well
appealing.
balanced. It's one of those hazy
Yeah.
boys that, oops, you were just a mess today.
So we got some beer in the ramen.
A new ramen hack.
Was that a hack? I don't know.
You know what?
This is delicious.
Isn't it
This
really
is
good?
really
So good.
So those guys, they're really good dudes who brew it too. They come to the city every once in a while. I will say, I have met these guys. They're really, really fun. And I took them out for their first, speaking of New York classics, I took them out for their first chopped cheese ever. They like specifically asked for that.
Yes.
And they were like blown away by it. So
I loved it.
Abe, Asa, congrats. You guys get the podcast shout out.
Yeah,
Hopefully
they're
it makes
listening.
Very
Orono.
tubular.
Orono.
Orono. Everyone
Orono.
says Orono. That's like the New England, Massachusetts is the home of the weirdest town names where I'm from. But Maine is close second. And Orono is how you say it. You have to just forget there's a middle. It's like saying, people who say Toronto, never been to Canada. You can tell. You got to say Toronto.
Toronto.
Toronto. Just
Wow.
drop that middle.
You're
Drop
just
the
like,
urge.
that's just called being efficient.
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
can really appreciate that.
All right, I'm excited. This also smells so good once the cheese hits it.
Yeah, I'm not smelling egg anymore, which maybe I'm just gotten used to it.
All right, I'm going to burn my mouth, I think, but I don't care.
We got 3 bowls. That was really efficient. Thank you so much, Kat,
Yeah.
for doing this.
I'm glad it worked out.
I just wanted some lunch. We're not even recording.
Yeah, this was all a setup. This was a setup.
I just
for-
wanted to drink a lot. And,
We were both saying we never cook ramen in the microwave at home. We always
Never.
do the pot, but the texture of this is actually really good.
Is it?
Get in there.
Everything is we're kind of eyeballing it here because we broke the ramen into a couple
Yeah.
of places and
That's fine.
We only did it for 3 minutes, 2 minutes, but you know,
This is how people live, Kat.
that's true. You got to live on the fly.
Our world is in flux.
Yeah.
And if we can ground people a little bit with bodega ramen
Yeah.
and a couple cans of tubular, we've done our job for the day. This is, okay, the noodle, the texture, I think you're right. It's very good.
Yeah. I think it's
And-
because I like El Dente best, and this clearly doesn't overcook, doesn't give it the chance to overcook.
Yeah.
It's kind of mac and cheesy a little bit, I have to say, which I don't hate.
Are you
I like
into it?
I'm
I'm
very
telling
much
you.
into it.
Okay, the American cheese, super easy, very good hack. Yeah. I mean, please try it and then let us know what you think.
Have you ever done, so one of my favorite things to do too is to just add in like cook the noodles until you want them, and then just add a tiny little bit of broth and the cheese, and you get like a maziman,
Oh my God!
Ooh.
Yes.
which is
Yeah.
like dry ramen.
Now
It's so good.
This honestly, so we have 3 bowls of ramen. We could probably make, how many do you think we can get out of this? Like 5 or 6. This could be a whole week's worth of food, honestly, for like $20.
Yeah, you can stretch this out.
No.
You get in danger when you go to places like Costco and you get like the sleeve. That's in college. I would go to Costco get the sleeve.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I'm saying
crushing
like the inspiration for even writing the article to begin with was like I was reminiscing about my college ramen days, which I would definitely have like cases of ramen that I would just go through.
Yeah.
But I was never putting any like proteins in them. I was never putting any veggies. I was just straight up eating ramen like all the time. And I was like, you know what? Now that I'm a full-fledged adult, kind of,
Yeah.
I should probably eat a vegetable once in a while. So that's kind of what inspired me. But what you were saying about making like dry ramen, that's like one of the some of the hacks aren't pictured here. You can find them in the article, but One of them is like to take out the broth and do stir-fried ramen, which is very good.
Yeah, because you look at noodles.
Yeah. Or like if you have like leftover curry or leftover like tom yum soup, that makes a great broth instead.
I have actually, so that is one thing I have done is I've taken like leftover ramen from a place like Chuko in Brooklyn, which is great, and I've tossed just instant ramen in there.
Yeah.
I mean, the texture of those noodles changes, right? You need to.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't think I can emphasize how good this ramen turned out. And I was skeptical because you can see everything in front of us.
I know.
And our general situation.
It does not look promising.
No, we have a pile of just like crinkled paper, dumplings.
Like frozen stuff that is slowly defrosting on the table.
Under the lights.
Did I mention where I got these eggs? No, but this is actually delicious. It's so much better, and I think the key word that you use is so much less sad.
Yeah,
just having this with nothing in it.
Dude, it is true. Like, if you just eat straight up ramen, it's a little sad. Just throw some frozen spinach in there and love yourself.
Yeah. And this beer is great, too. I'm, like, super happy. This is awesome.
Yeah, this is, like, the best thing we've done.
Do we have to go back to work?
Yeah, like, ramen and beer, we should do this every day.
We should think of a
Zach
pod.
is just slurping the ramen.
I'm like, not going to. I'm going to finish this.
You're cleaning your plate. Oh, so a beer to pair well with ramen. These are your winter beers or your ramen beers?
So I didn't pick based on what I would say, but
Sure.
I would say something like the first beer we had is a great pilsner and like lagers in general.
You want
because sure. Make for great pairings, especially for spicy food because they're very refreshing.
Yeah.
They're usually on the more muted side of the flavor spectrum, so they kind of just help quench your thirst in between hot bites.
Ooh, so, you mentioned quenching your thirst and pairing with spicy food. I don't know if you follow David Chang on Twitter, but today, I believe, which, we're taping this.
Oh, I know exactly what you're about to say. Yeah.
On January 22nd, a date that will live in infamy, he tweeted about pouring his beer over ice.
Yep.
And he says it helps, what do you say? It pairs with spicy food. And he's like, and if you don't like this, you must not drink your beer quick enough. But
I saw that.
I don't know if I fully agree with the Changster, as I call him here.
He loves to be provocative in his statements, so I'll always give him that. He's very good at generating these kind of headlines.
Marketing, much like winter beer makers.
I think, honestly, I remember the first time I got served a beer with ice in it, I was kind of like, what the hell?
Where?
And then, it was when I was traveling. I was in Venezuela.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm not really sure. And I was like too young to really care. I was like, I don't care. It's going to keep it cold. But then my girlfriend's Costa Rican. And when we got to Costa Rica, she's like, all I want is a beer and ice. And I was like, you know what? Sounds pretty fucking great, right? So we got just like a good Imperial poured over ice and looking at the water or whatever, like with her family. I'm like, this is
fantastic,
actually phenomenal. I'm like, I'm not a purist in this way. I'm not going to tell people if they want their beer over ice that they're wrong.
Yeah, I mean, and he was doing it with Sing beer, and I will say, like in Thailand, okay, Sing is from Thailand, and everyone in Thailand drinks their Sing with ice. Like,
really?
That's pretty normal. Sing, Chang, like all of those. Like, it just, I mean, and also, I guess because Thailand is so freaking hot, like, your beer is going to get cold so fast. So you just, you put ice in it, and it's refreshing. It's fine.
And if you ever spent time, especially coming from David Chang's point of view, if you're drinking beers like that, you generally, he's drinking them in a kitchen. And I've spent enough time in kitchens working alongside guys who just want to drink their shift beers towards the end there, and they get hot fast. So if you don't pour them over ice, you're either slugging back a lukewarm Tecate, or you're basically kind of, you have to do something to ameliorate that. And I think ice is a good move.
I like lukewarm Tecate. That's a good band name.
Ooh, lukewarm Tecate.
Yeah. No, the only place I've ever had beer, ice and beer, was in Thailand. It was in Bangkok, with Chong. But I drank so much of it because it was so hot.
It's so light, and
it's the best hot weather beer.
Yeah.
Which actually brings me to a point. Do you think that summer or winter is a better drinking season?
Ooh.
Tough one, right?
Mm.
Now
you're talking to someone who owns a couple of bars, so every single day.
Every season is a good season.
Yeah. Please go out and buy.
Drink responsibly. Because I think there are benefits to both, right? Because summer, it's hot, you're outside, you're partying. But, winter, you're inside, you're cold. And you want something to do. It's kind of boring,
Honestly, I tell people, dry January, I respect people who do that. I think it's great that people want to recharge after the holidays. God knows I have to.
Yeah.
But honestly, I find January to be a tough month in New York. Mm-hmm. And I know that if I'm I'm holding myself back from doing what most of my friends do, which is like either meet up for drinks or drinks before dinner or something.
Right.
It can limit my social interaction, which I need it most this month in February. So
that makes sense.
it's like hard for me. I would rather I tell a lot of people, I would rather do the 2-week-long breaks punctuated throughout the year than just like jump on the dry January thing, because it's a better way to establish healthier habits too if you spread it out over the rest of the year.
You're absolutely right. Like that's such a better way to do it, and it's like anything in moderation is better than just going like balls to the wall for like 1 month.
Oh yeah.
This is delicious. Do we have one more beer there, Zach?
We do. Sorry. So
no, it's okay.
Of all the things I brought today,
is there another beer?
Yeah, I think I see something over there.
Speaking of beers that are perfect for the season, again, this is not something that they release for winter, nor is it something that says winter on the label or anything. But it falls more in line with what breweries typically would do for a winter beer. This is Lawson's Finest Liquids, which is a very, very storied brewery from Vermont that is known for a very famous beer called Sip of Sunshine, which people go head over heels for. It's sort of like almost reaches the same level of fervor that Heady Topper gets. But this is their Imperial Stout. It's 10.1%, nice, rich, full-bodied. Again, one of these things, I'm not a huge sweet tooth. My girlfriend would disagree sometimes because there are certain desserts I love.
Sure.
But I often replace dessert with like a really rich, smaller pour of a really rich, heavier beer. That's not to say this tastes like molasses, but it does have like more like roastier notes, more full-bodied flavors that I think make this like the kind of thing that people could imagine themselves, in the cliche way, sitting down next to a campfire in the snow. Like, does anyone ever do that?
Yeah, looking out at the snow, the blizzard outside.
Yeah.
In your cabin.
They wrote a whole song about that. Baby, it's cold outside.
They did.
But it's wildly problematic.
Ooh, cheers.
Cheers to everyone.
This looks
cheers
really
to
good.
You guys.
Yeah,
cheers. Cheers. I'll drink Tubular.
Yeah, drink Tubular. We don't mind sharing cans.
As we all do, share the next best part about winter.
Ooh, yeah.
Flu season.
Yeah.
I got my shot. Did you guys
I got
my shot.
I got my shot.
We all got it.
Oh, yeah.
Although apparently it wasn't good this year.
This is very interesting. I don't really like stouts usually.
Yeah, what do you think?
I also don't really like stouts usually, but
Well, because you're American.
it's very it's fragrant. It's nice.
Yeah. Well, it's a little bit sweeter, right? It's got that kick.
It does. So sometimes your palate, this is Cicerone's Zach coming out. Sometimes your palate can perceive higher alcohol content as sweetness.
Yeah.
So if you get into the double digits, like people are like, double IPAs usually get a little too cloying for me, too sweet, because your taste buds actually pick up the sweetness of the alcohol, which is why it's actually hard for some people when you're drinking non-alcoholic beer. You miss like the taste of booze is one of the hardest things to replicate without booze. So this is like a perfect example of that. It's also like richer, roastier, and that complements the sweetness well. So as opposed to a double IPA at this strength where the sweetness can kind of overpower, this works really well. Because the roast is like an iced coffee.
Yeah.
Well, I do have a sweet tooth, and something that I feel like when I get a stout that's like higher percentage in alcohol, sometimes it's like, oh, it's coconut, it's vanilla, and I don't get that flavor. Like, it's not sweet, but this is actually sweet, but it's nice. Like,
right. It's like Hostess cake with like a little bit of like an espresso aftershot.
Yeah.
Which that's usually what I have for
delicious.
dessert.
After your bacon, egg, and cheese.
Dunk them. Yeah. This is actually what I would consider to be like when I think of winter beer. What's a winter bear? This is like perfect.
Yeah.
It's
very
mapley.
cozy.
Yeah, it's like a little smoky. It's cozy. Yeah.
There's a marketing job for you in beer right now. They'll take you in.
Hire me. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, this is much like the little blanket of cheese on our ramen. I feel like there's a nice blanket of American cheese over me after this maple.
I definitely I also haven't drank at all this month. It feels like
alcohol.
Yeah, or I've had very little.
I wish I could have switched places with you. I was like, oh, the holidays are over finally, and then it's just been like, boom, 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 boom.
I said this the last time. Like I for some reason, January 1st, I think I was just hungover. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do dry January this year. It's going to be great. I really made it to January 4th. And I was at work, and then, I went to dinner after. And I was like, I'm just going to have a glass of wine. Fuck it. But that's why, you talked about athletic brewing before on this pod. It's a great kind of just supplement.
It really is.
It's awesome. Because for me, I don't really drink that much at home, but it's like when I'm out, I'm with my friends. I just want to have a drink,
Yeah, and honestly, it's like if you, for some markets, it's like you have to drive someplace after. You don't have to be in recovery to want to drink something like that and miss the taste of beer. Mm-hmm. The fact that non-alcoholic beer until this last 2 years has been horrible insult to injury kind of product. It's kind of amazing to see that they've actually developed these not only good non-alcoholic versions, but non-alcoholic breweries off the bat. So it shows you that people actually want it. And it's,
Yeah.
you know, and anecdotally speaking, one of the fastest moving products in my shop. So
That's crazy. Do you
That
think
is
more people
crazy.
drink in the summer at your bar at ABC Beer Co. in the East Village, by the way? Go visit. What are the cross streets?
Avenue C between 6th and 7th.
Whoa, there you go.
There we go.
Do you think more people come in the winter or the summer? Or do you know?
Summer is typically low season in the city
Yeah.
because everyone's they're traveling and stuff like that.
Sure.
But we see it kind of people thin out over the week. So Fridays and Saturdays dip down big in attendance, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday pop up. So, you know, it's not the busiest time of year, but it kind of just changes. We're at a restaurant. Restaurants really suffer.
Cool.
But people still want to go and drink, so.
Always. Winter beer, summer beer. We got it all.
I guess when it gets hot out, we'll have to come back and make snow cones and drink winter beer.
Yeah,
summer
what-
beer.
What are we gonna do next?
What can you spruce up for the summer? Like the watermelon slices?
Ooh, we should do like
Gazpacho?
Ooh.
gazpacho, popsicles.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
you can make beer
man.
popsicles.
Yeah, micheladas. Can we talk about micheladas? Can you make micheladas, please?
Yes.
I
Oh, my
fucking
God.
love a michelada.
This is a topic for another podcast.
Yep.
But no, these are some great winter beers, and this ramen was just really, really, really delicious, despite the hot dog vendor's eggs. I think
finished
we
mine.
did it.
I finished
Cool.
mine
Yeah.
too. I drank the soup.
Now I think we have to go back to reality, unfortunately.
You have to leave the
Boo.
velvet
This is it for
shell.
us. Yeah, we have to leave our velvet shell of comfort.
This is our American cheese blanket right here.
Exactly. Kat, thank you for coming on and teaching us a little bit about how to make our ramen better.
Yes, of
And
course.
Zach, as always, thanks for coming on, bringing beer and talking about beer.
It's the highlight of my month so
You're my
far.
favorite chicharrone.
Cicerone.
Back at you.
Yeah. Oh, I know. All right.